just a minute to go that the riders want to see a set, but it's almost the opposite today. These guys almost want to kind of catch the in-between waves.
Yeah, that's right. The biggest waves today aren't necessarily the better ones. There is a couple good big ones, but
yeah, there's some clean sets coming through now and then,
for
but a
the
lot
most
of them are
part,
washing through.
These smaller waves seem to be kind of the higher scoring potential.
Riders paddling over the back, so it looks like no one's going to be able to get a wave here in the last 5 seconds. So Maury Laverne is going to advance on to round number 3 with Diego Cabrera. That means Bobby Quinones and Sergio Luis, the Brazilian and the Puerto Rican, are going to be headed home, Mike. It's unfortunate to see Bobby Quinones go home after doing so well in the trials.
Yeah, good run for Babby and Sergio. I mean, Babby all the way from the trials, so he can't be too disappointed. I mean, I'm sure he's going to be bummed that he got knocked out, but heck, he made it pretty far. And no shame going down to Diego and Omri. Both of those guys are pretty seasoned competitors.
Okay, so right now before we get the second heat of the day started, let's throw you to some messages from our sponsors who make the Chilean Challenge possible. So we are back live at the 2013 Arica Chilean Challenge. This is presented by the Municipalidad de Arica, as well as Tomate Surf Shop. And of course, we have to thank Mike Stewart and Science Bodyboards, as well as Movie Star and Lawn Airlines. And remember, this is the 10th anniversary of this event, one of the greatest events in the world of bodyboarding today. El Gringo definitely delivering some sizable surf today, almost too big, but it's still contestable, and these guys are out there dropping in on the sets, throwing some big rolls and some nice maneuvers, and even finding some good barrels, Mike.
Yeah, it's the action's on, man. It's here we go. You got in this heat is Alan Espinoza from Chile, who's he's a great rider, one of the top guys from Chile, and this is local waters for him, so he's going to be tough to beat. Roberto Bruno from Brazil, kind of a standout last year. One of the up-and-coming riders from Brazil. Jake Stone probably needs no introduction, but is a great rider from Australia. At the Nungan event, did some pretty crazy stuff. Like I guess he did close to a 720 in the heat, and he did his Jake Stone flip. Although Tanner McDaniel says you should call it the Rolling Stone. Thinks that's maybe
that is a pretty good name. As we see two riders paddling, this is our rider in yellow. Jake.
Yeah, Jake gets the better of it.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, pulls in.
Look at this barrel. Good. Comes through nicely. And one thing I do want to mention is that in our last heat, Diego Cabrera, doing so well, especially after he's had some of the real serious injuries that he's had out here at this spot.
Yeah. No, it's great to see him back in form, and this is heavy. This rider in blue, Alberto Gulichi from Venezuela, was like ready to go right, and then Jake just kind of pushed it and went left. So he got, had they continued, they probably would have got a double interference. But as a result, Jake got a pretty good wave out of it.
Yeah, nice good barrel. Unfortunately for Jake, not much to offer off.
Yeah, a little short.
Would have been nice to have
a
a roll or
pocket, but
something.
Good way to start. 5.88.
And we know if anyone can take advantage of a section, it's somebody like Jake Stone.
Yeah. So it looks like Alberto Gulichi was paddling for that, and I think with the way the rules work now is he would move into, unless Jake's out, but he would lose his, he'd go into priority. So now it would be Roberto and Alan that would share first priority. And here, so I'm not sure. I think that might not have changed yet.
I got a good question coming in from our Facebook page. And
Priority.
I'm laughing just thinking about it. Lloyd wants to know, Mike, tell us about your drop knee experience on a bodyboard.
my drop knee experience is really simple to explain because it's only happened on like 1 or 2 occasions.
Literally in your whole life,
no,
you've only tried to drop
I
knee?
mean, me and Magno had a drop knee challenge out at St. Louis last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I mean, it's just comedy. If you want some comedy, then you can do a little research and find Mike Stewart drop knee. But yeah, I don't do a lot of drop knee. I totally respect the guys that do it. They rip. Guys like, okay, here we go.
Roberto Bruno, the Brazilian
Bruno,
rider.
Big section.
Speed, look at that.
Oh, massive air.
That was
Roberto.
big. And a rider up
like
behind
he got
him.
so high, he was like kind of tripping out up there.
Wow.
Gyrating his foot. That's going to be a massive score. That was sick.
I think the way he kicked his feet, it was almost the equivalent of the rolling down your windows, but he did it with his feet. As you see, Jake Stone on a second wave.
No, he's looking. Yeah.
Jake did have a 5.88 on his first wave.
Yeah.
And
Jake
he didn't
Stone,
like what he saw there.
No. He kind of was looking for something in particular, and he just didn't see it, didn't get it.
Wow, I still can't believe the air that Roberto Bruno did. Take a look at the replay here from the Arica Chilean
He did
Challenge.
spin to start, so he kind of took a page out of my thing last year, but he did it bigger. Look how big this air is.
Jeez.
That was oh yeah.
Absolutely massive. I mean,
That was big.
that's the kind of air that could end up as the moniker for this event, or the silhouette could be the T-shirt.
Sick. Yeah, Roberto.
Great job by the young Brazilian.
Yeah.
As you see a rider in blue, Alberto Colucci paddling. Going to go right, and this is the first right we've seen all day.
Okay. Oh. Kind of, maybe he was trying to get too much speed there, slid too far up and cut an edge. I don't know. That was, unless he was just trying to cut out.
24 minutes to go here in our second heat of the day. Again, this is the third heat of men's round number 2.
Here's a judge's view of this. So spin takeoff, and then he just sets up this part right here. Huge section.
Kaboom.
Wow, that was massive.
Yeah.
Sick.
Look how far you had to come down.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to recover from that, it's not an easy thing out here. There's a lot of. So he got an 8.75. He might have. I'm just trying to think if he might have got. I don't know. Maybe they say if the whitewater kind of gobbled him up. Like he seemed like he landed, but he didn't. I'm not sure if he came out through the whitewater. You can't come too far out, otherwise you end up in the rocks. So.
Well, certainly judging not a fun job and not a job that you or I would want.
Yeah, it's tough.
So it's hard to second guess those guys. They are the best judges in the world that we have here. And I got a chance to find out about our judging system and how we have basically judges that are considered like world class or master judges that are on these events. And they usually try to have maybe about 4 of them. But we actually have 6 of the biggest best judges in the world here, and only 1 local Chilean judge.
Well, yeah, I have to. My hats off to the IBA for getting the panel, and Chico for getting the panel together, and Craig. I mean, gosh, these guys have been at it for so long, and they get in there and it's hard to do it. I mean, I don't know how they stay. They're on there all day. They're focused, and it really takes a lot of discipline and effort, and so. Yeah, hats off. They've created a great panel, and gosh, the judging has been really good last few years, I think.
Just so you guys know, we had a Jake Stone with a second wave, just a 1.7. I mean, he just dropped in and kind of cut out right away. And on that right, Alberto Colucci just doing that 360 and then catching a rail. That was 2.45 for him. So those are most likely not going to be counting waves to those guys, just letting you know the scores and keeping you up to date.
Yeah, Roberto Bruno just shoots out in the lead with an 8.75, and Jake's even got 2 waves and still needs about a 3 to catch him, 2.88.
Okay, we have Yo-Yo down on the beach. He is our beach commentator, and he is caught up with our heat winner, Amore Laver. Take it away, Yo-Yo.
Good morning, everyone back home, and here we are in the Flopos, and with the winner of the last heat, Amaury Laverne. Amaury, just tell us, please, about the last heat.
Yeah, it was big out there, and first heat of the day, and I was pretty nervous, but actually I was hoping yesterday that it's going to be big today, because I really like this wave when it's big and it's hard to manage, and I just had 2 waves in my heat, and yeah, it was just pick up the right one and just some solid set out there.
Incredible, Amaury. And how do you handle the conditions here right now?
Yeah, you have to be ready. Yeah, it's really difficult. Like the waves are coming really fast. When you see the lines outside, they're coming really fast. And I thought everybody gonna catch some rides today, but it seems the ride is really bumpy, and it's better to catch some inside left. And yeah, I had some good point on the beach to be at the right spot, and I had good waves. And I'm really happy to pass this round.
Incredible, Amaury. Congratulations. And I probably you like to say something to the people at home.
Yeah, ben, merci beaucoup à tous les gars qui me soutiennent, à ma famille, la Reine des Canarias. Et merci à tous les gars. Nous retrouve bientôt. Dédicace Radical Surf Club. You!
Thank you very much. I'm back to you guys.
Baja and stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
Here we are back
Oh,
live.
Jake Stone scooping
in
in the late.
yellow. The young Australian who did so well down at the South Coast Crusade, really not able to find much of anything he liked on that wave
No.
as well.
Got a little bit of a barrel at the beginning, and then it just didn't really run for him. So we got a big set coming in now.
And Jake's gonna have a serious paddle out right here.
Yeah, so Jake, pretty good little barrel here, and then it just doesn't really run for him. You know, a little bit of bump, chop. Oh, and then yeah, he realizes, oh wait a minute, I'm getting in kind of close. So
Tell you what, Jake Stone is in a pretty serious predicament in
here's
there.
what we're talking about. Alberto Gulichi from Venezuela
Broke his leash,
broke
huh?
his leash, and and
our beach announcer letting Jake know that the spot he's in is safe. He's going to be okay.
yeah, they don't want him to go too far to the left or to the right because basically the waves wash right up onto the cutting board. That's pretty classic. I don't think I've heard that before.
So this is a classic example, and this is what I was talking about, you know, a little bit ago. I mean, when the waves are this heavy and this big, you know, there are conditions to be dealt with, and you know, getting caught inside, taking a bad wave, and getting stuck, you know, that's going to take a good chunk out of the heat for as far as time for Jake Stone. And now Alberto Colucci, you know, he broke his leash, has no board, had to be picked up by the water patrol, and you know, it's going to be quite a while before he's able to get aboard and get back out there.
Yeah, you know, fortunately the skis there. Had there been no ski, you know, it'd be like a man. Have to get his body surfing skills down.
Now, Mike, as far as you know, in the history of our sport, has there ever been an event where we had board caddies like surfing does?
Yeah. We've had them at Pipe a few times. You know, I've had some pretty good board caddies in the past. I think the best board caddy was Kainoa McGee, and just because he would yell the whole heat, and he's so loud, his voice carries so far.
Wait a second. Kainoa only yells during the heat? I thought Kainoa doesn't know how to talk. He just yells.
No, Kainoa, he's a passionate man.
I could be at the mall in Ala Moana and I can hear him at Pipe.
Hey, I remember once I was up in the Eukai shower, taking a shower, and I thought I heard him, and I thought he was right next to me. He was actually in the lineup in Eukai.
The best part is you're serious.
Yeah. Okay, and so here's the next heat lining up. This is going to be a good one. Lachlan Cramsey, Ryan Hardy, you know, those are guys. Lachlan won the trials for crying out loud, and Ryan, you know. So this is going to be another pretty good heat.
Okay, so take a look at the scores. Jake Stone got a 2.63 on that last wave. So it was a 5.88 and a 2.63. Roberto Bruno still at 8.75 on that huge air they did. Alberto Colucci, the 2.45, and he has no board. And Alan Espinoza still has yet to catch a wave.
Wow, half the heat gone, and Alan without a wave. He needs to get busy here. It's not going to take much. You know, just two waves of 2 fours, and he can get there. You know, he's just probably not seeing what he's liking. And you can tell with guys like Jake, you know, getting 1s and 2s and 3s. It's like,
yeah, he's not very excited.
Yeah, the waves aren't that great. You know, it's just not really totally doing it. I mean, there's those occasional waves that are amazing, but it's pick and choose. And so that makes it, you know, pretty difficult.
Mike, Gino Coletta wants to know who pushed you to start bodyboarding.
My
And,
dad
you talked about your dad
pushed
and
me,
pipe
literally.
boards and
Yeah, when I was young, growing up in Hawaii, and then, but I get inspiration all the time from everyone. There's got so many guys ripping these days. It's just all you gotta do is watch guys in the lineup, watch any IBA event, and you get all the motivation you need. I mean, there's such cool riding going on from all over, guys from all over the place. So it's pretty humbling,
Another question I saw, Dave Camacho wants to know, Mike, do you know of any development, or have you ever heard anything as far as PlayStation ever developing a bodyboard game?
Well, there's U Riding that's out there, but I'm not sure. There was talk a while back about doing some different games, and when Tony Hawk's game came out, and that was like a real popular thing, I guess Activision was looking at one to do with Kelly, and then he wanted me to be like a secret rider in there, but I don't think it did too well, so that went away. So yeah, I guess the only thing available now is U Riding, and I guess a lot of guys play that, but it would be cool to do like a, I've always thought it'd be really neat to have a game that was more realistic, and
Like a POV
yeah,
game?
like a POV, and had some of the other elements that at least you could get from the sight and sound of the experience.
So there's a shot from our rider's tent over there, and you can just see how sizable the surf really is when you get a
you've seen the
perspective
top left
right
corner.
there.
There's Bowie. That's like one of the best big wave spots in Chile, and that place handles massive, like 20 feet, 25 feet, I guess.
Luis Fernando wants to ask Mike. He says, Mike, I've heard some history about the Chopu discovery, and the history says that you and Ben Severson have discovered Chopu, or at least you guys are the first ones that ever surfed the wave. Tell us something about that.
Yeah, it's kind of a lengthy story, but in the short of it was we were over there for a PSAA contest, and there's this.
There was a PSAA at Tahiti?
Yeah, I'll just talk about it until. Yeah, there's a PSAA specialty event, and they had this rubber ducky demonstration team, and I convinced them to go to the other side and explore for waves. And I was with Chris Tenenberg. And
Chris Tenberg.
Chris
Quite
Tenberg,
classic.
yeah, yep. And so we went and we looked and found a bunch of different waves, and on the way back we rode upon that spot, and it was just like heaven on earth. It was so good and so amazing.
And did you see it from the beach, or were you guys
We're
on a
just
boat?
looking at it from the back. So that was the first experience for me. And then went over there, and yeah, it was just the most beautiful wave I've ever been to. And it wasn't that big. It was about maybe 4 or 5 feet, maybe 6 feet. But it was running just super long barrels, and it was really fun. So it was just super clean. And so I told Ben about it. We came in after quite an ordeal of coming in almost at dark, running into the reef, deflating the thing, stepping on fire coral, and wanting to strip off my skin because it was so itchy. The next day, or that night, we told Ben about it and said, "Hey Ben, let's go check this place out tomorrow." And then we went to him tomorrow. So there's Diego, pumped that he made it through his heat.
And as far as you know, no surfers had ever ridden that
Well,
way?
I think there's local guys that surfed it. And so, yeah, there's local guys that I'm pretty sure there's local guys that surfed it. I just don't know if there's a lot of Westerners. And I don't know, I don't think I was the first guy to ride it. I'm pretty sure there's other guys that rode it, but.
You're the first outsider.
Yeah, maybe the first Westerner. This was like, I forget, late 80s maybe. The first trip I went over there was in 85, and we can see Omri super pumped, man. Yeah, so that was good. He won that heat with another rider getting a 9, which is a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah.
Just consistent, solid riding by Omri.
So
And
to finish the Chopu
yeah.
story.
So yeah,
and
in
then-
'85 I went over there for the first trip, '84, '85, and it was the waves were pretty good. And one day it was massive, and I surfed this other break that was just terrifying, big pass. It's actually gnarlier than Chopo because it's not as clean. It's like all these steps in the wave. And then I decided to go for a little walk, and so I hiked to the end, and I saw it, but I didn't think it was rideable because it just looked like it was barreling, spitting, and then washing up onto the reef, and I just figured, man, that's just death. I didn't realize, because from the beach angle, you can't tell there's a little bit of a channel.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up surfing it then, but I saw it and learned it, looked at it, and said, wow, what intriguing, maybe in the future sometime. And then sure enough, and I didn't realize when I stumbled upon it that it was the same place, and I just kind of pieced it together later.
You know, at what point did the first surf competition? I believe the Gotcha Pro was the first
that
event
was
there.
kind of crazy, actually.
And was the ASP behind that, or was
Yeah,
Gotcha and Camera Seal MT behind that?
Gosh, it was. I think it was full on, like, and it was kind of a spectacle. It's kind of sad to see, really. You know, it went from being this really pristine break with no one around to just like this circus out there. So that was kind of a bummer. One thing that, I mean, there's positives and negatives to all these types of things, and the positive, I guess, is that a lot of people are able to share it and experience it and appreciate it, and hopefully take care of it.
Tell us what you think about some of the big wave tow-ins that you see at Chopu these days.
Yeah, pretty sick.
Just the last couple
days.
days.
I mean, sick. Guys are pushing it. Guys are pushing it. Now, I'm claiming bodyboarders can pretty much paddle that. You know, we can paddle that. You saw that one picture recently of the rider down there. I forget his name, but if you look on Surfline and check out that feature, there's a shot of him airdropping. Now, if you're a little bit further inside and just maybe a little bit more, I mean, that's like on the verge of the rideable size, but a little bit. When I was there in the kind of 9/11 spot, oh, Jake Stone.
Look at this big set wave for Jake Stone.
Yeah, he needs something here. He's looking for something. He's trying to stall. He's trying to figure out what to do here.
He wants to replace the 2.63, and I think he'll do that at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, just under 10 minutes to go here in heat number 11.
And Allen's is without a wave. You know, so maybe he's kind of, I don't know what's going on, what he's thinking. You know, maybe he's just kind of tripped out with the whole scene. But, gosh, you know, this is a pretty low-scoring heat for Jake, who's capable of greatness.
Yeah, the kid's definitely capable of nines.
Yeah, he's just trying to figure out, okay, what's this wave going to do? So that's pretty decent. I mean, he moved to the front, so with the 488. Okay, so 588 and a 488, and he's keeping his 488 so far.
So Roberto Bruno is still sitting on an 8.75. Alberto Colucci with a 2.45, but he's not even back out in the lineup after breaking his leash. And Alan Espinoza, who's right there in front of you can see him on the screen, has yet to catch a wave.
Yeah, and it's not easy. The conditions are tough out there right now, super tough. You know, it's pretty west. You can pull back, you can kind of see here.
This set looks like it's coming out of the south
sizable, and it's literally feet away from, yards away from the reef or the rock. So you can see it's kind of really running, crumbling, closing, tricky conditions.
It's cold, it's big, it's rocky, it's dangerous.
It's gnarly.
And you're surrounded by the best bodyboarders in the world. Not the most hospitable environment, I'd say, at the moment.
No, it's pretty gnarly out there right now.
Remember, this event is brought to you by the Municipalidad de Arica, as well as Tomate Surf Shop. Mike Stewart and Science Bodyboard supporting the event, Movistar and Lawn Airlines. Lawn Airlines, of course, the big Chilean airlines, them and Sky down here are the two big ones.
Yeah, so here we are a little bit, man, I'm wondering, you know, I've had heats like this before out here, and it's just like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to ferret out a good wave. And man, it's kind of unnerving. You know, you'd be kind of stressing a little bit. You know, you got to think you're getting ones and twos, but
Alberto Colucci is back out in the water with his board.
Okay, he's back out with the GoPro to boot. So he's going to try to, he's just, not really doing it for him.
I wonder if we had some good GoPro footage of his leash breaking.
Oh, that could be interesting. Huge set. He might have bailed his board. I mean, that's another thing too. Like, you know, if it was super big, I mean, that's not a bad option out here if you got a ski. But as you can see, that was like a 10-minute process of him getting his board and getting back out. And
yeah, it was a complete ordeal. As you see his replay, he drops in, forward 360 off the bottom turn. Oh, no, he waited a little bit.
Yeah, just not much. You know, I'm sure Venezuela doesn't have this type of surf that often, so he probably is not able to practice that much in these conditions. Well, he got a 2, so he only needs a 6.
How about Roberto Bruno? He is in position to advance only one wave.
Yeah, that's crazy. That just kind of shows you what's happening out here today.
definitely a game changer when the waves get, up to this level as far as height and seriousness. It is a wave of consequence, I like to call it, and it's good that we have a lot of waves like that here on the IBA GoPro World Tour.
Pretty much all of them are pretty darn good waves. It's pretty exciting. Okay, here we got a pretty big set moving in. Okay, Alberto trying to.
Let's see if you can find a good
Oh,
section.
this has a good section in it. Potentially could do something pretty big here.
Man, he's racing the section, but I just don't see it getting too steep or doing too much of anything.
Okay, well, this will better his other scores that he's got. Oh, big set rolling in. Oh.
Look at this.
Oh, massive.
All the way across.
Yeah, so you don't want to be inside of that.
Certainly no fun.
Yeah, it sucks.
And talk about, Mike, explain to the people at home, when the water's colder like this, the hold downs are worse. You're expending more oxygen trying to stay warm, correct?
Yeah, I mean, if you got a good suit, you're pretty stoked. But if you don't, man, you're hating life. So here's Alberto trying to get past that, line something up here, trying to get something to go here. Finds a little roll section, which was, gosh, not bad. He extracted that out of that wave. I mean, it's pretty much just kind of a big mush burger.
Yeah, the wave didn't have much to offer.
But, he's got a 4, so now he only needs a 4.6 to advance. And if Roberto doesn't catch another wave, there's 4 minutes left. And in these conditions, that's possible.
Yeah, certainly.
And Alan, without even a wave on there, be interesting to see what's going through Alan's mind right now.
Well, he's not quite in combo land. He's at 8.76.
Got some of the bodyboarders down here. Wow, this is going to be pretty nuts when the third round starts. Guys pushing it in these conditions is going to be pretty difficult.
So our beach announcer giving these guys the rundown of where everyone is at. Jake Stone, Roberto Bruno feeling good with 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go. Alberto Colucci and Alan Espinoza have some work to do. And while we're waiting for some more waves to come through, Mike, I got some more questions over here from our fans on Facebook. And Max wants to know, Mike, will we ever see a Mike versus Cyclops scenario?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to check out a bunch of those waves. Cyclops, I don't know. I've heard it's pretty much kind of just closes out right on the slab there. But some of those other waves I'd love to check out. They're remote. They're hard to get to. It takes time, it takes money, and there's so many other good waves to go to and that are easier. But yeah, I mean, I would really love an opportunity to get down there. I just have to figure out the time and work out the logistics, and then I could probably swing it. But yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, I remember Ryan Hardy talking about that wave yesterday, and he's definitely said it's definitely the heaviest wave he's ever been involved with.
Yeah, it's nutty. It's like you'd be pulling into it and it's basically just closing out. It's almost like I don't know. There's a couple other bombings that are like that I've seen. I recently surfed up this slab up in Oregon that was pretty nutty.
Really?
And yeah, it was pretty sick. And so that was kind of cool. There's got to be a bunch of other waves too that are like that maybe might be a little bit more surfable, just so you don't end up getting smashed every wave. That I wouldn't mind checking out too. It's good to explore and
look at this
check
wave.
things out.
Big barrel.
That was actually a pretty good left.
Mike,
Wow.
Sam O'Keefe, as we watch this big barrel, he wants to know, Mike, what is the strangest or weirdest wave you can remember surfing?
Wow. Well, let's hold on. We got live action here with Jake Stone.
Listen, look at this big right bottom turn.
Looking for a roll. Yeah, he did good there. He did good to get that. That was not easy. This will definitely help his campaign.
Yeah, busting through the top of that barrel. He wants to improve upon a 4.88.
Yeah, he's only got a minute left. He'll try to find one more section here.
Look at him racing it.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, this gets real bumpy down in this end section. It's super hard to do anything. And plus, it's difficult to see what's going on.
Yeah, the big foam, foam all over him.
It's just like you got all that white water.
Look at this.
Here, Roberto. Okay, well, this could change things as well. if Roberto gets a decent wave here, he's got 1 minute.
Well, remember, no matter what, he's going to go up. This is only a second wave.
Yeah, well, he's got to get a roll or something here. So far, he's just gone straight, so he needs a section. Okay, Let's see. See if we can see the bottom of his board or something come up here. Nope.
Big sets coming out the back.
Wow. So that'll, I'd say Jake's wave would probably be one of his better ones. So that would make it a bigger gap that Roberto needs.
So just over 30 seconds ago, and Alan Espinosa's still yet to catch a wave, Mike. I mean, what do you say to that?
Gosh, I don't know. All I can think
And he's
about
from
is
here in
maybe he's a
Chile.
little bit, maybe he's just a little bit intimidated by the conditions, or maybe, he's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I want to find out though.
Yeah, it's certainly got to be a letdown for him personally, to make it this far in the event, being a Chilean rider here at home and unable to catch a wave in your heat is just nothing about that is a good scenario.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Maybe he had a hard night last night or something. I don't know. So waiting for scores to come in from Roberto and Jake's last wave.
Yeah, but no matter what, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. Jake Stone and Roberto Bruno.
I
are
just
gonna
want
be
to know if
advancing through.
Roberto will move up, but I don't think so. I think Jake's gonna.
Yeah. Okay, so
He
right
did.
now
He got a 2.83.
Well, there you go.
But wait, let's see. Is Jake's last wave? Did his last wave come in?
I don't think his score's coming.
No. Okay, so he got a 6.3C. So there it goes. It goes back and forth. So
So there you go. So
Jake-
finishing the heat, Jake Stone, the Australian, the young man.